I'm not going to spend the rest of my life numbing my brain with drugs to ease the pressures of it. I'd rather just give up. Start another band, play anonymously when I feel like it, put out records, probably with Chris and Dave, but with a different name. Don't promote it. Who knows? It's not worth it. I adore my wife and my baby. That's the life I want. That's the life I was searching for years. I wanted a partner. I wanted security. I wanted a family, stuff like that. It's more important than anything else. Everything else is totally irrelevant. You see, I'm back into the state of mind I'm in every few months or so. Within the last 2 years, the negative articles have been coming out, but more and more I've been learning to ignore it. And since the baby was born, there were a few positive articles counteracting this stuff. It looked like I would be able to deal with it, but it sounds like this book is too much. I shouldn't even be saying anything, but whatever. End quote. Kurt Cobain's struggles with fame have been well documented. However, one of the misnomers about Kurt is that he never wanted to be famous at all. This actually isn't true. Kurt did in fact want to be famous, however, he felt conflicted about it for various reasons. And once the pressures of being an internationally recognized rock star started mounting, it is true that at this point Kurt no longer wanted to be in the public eye. In terms of Kurt's conflicted relationship with fame, I'm going to show you a clip from my interview with Sub Pop co-founder Bruce Pavitt where he talks about it. So when it comes to Kurt, one of the things that people debate about sometimes is, did Kurt want to become famous or did he not want to become famous? In your honest opinion, what do you think?
He totally wanted to be famous, but he also was very conflicted because he very much identified with punk ideals. And so that's what made the whole story so fascinating, is that conflict. And Sub Pop was kind of the same way. You had the sub, which was very underground, and pop, which is the implication that underground music could be popular. For Kurt to circle back and go to Steve Albini, that's a bold gesture. Steve's a good engineer, he's a good producer, but he's not super commercial. That was Nirvana's way of saying, we're gonna go with a slightly more abrasive approach. This time, our single is gonna be called Rape Me. I dare you to play that on radio. They had a punk side, so you'd see that conflict, and it was pretty fascinating. My biz partner John Poneman has gone on record as saying he had some talks with Kurt, and I didn't know this at the time, but he recently said, yeah, I had talks with Kurt, and he was like, we should be selling millions of records, and he was very confident in Nirvana's potential to sell, and it's the main reason he left Sub Pop, that even though he sold 40,000 copies, which in the indie world was at that time successful, he was like, no, that's not good enough. We should be selling millions of records. And I was like, I wasn't thinking in those terms. I was not thinking that we're going to sign bands that will sell millions of records. That was not in my frame of mind at all. I did not think that was possible coming from where I did, where, things change quickly, that's for sure.
So with that said then, when DGC started selling millions of copies of Nevermind, considering that you were contractually, getting benefits from those sales, did you ever wake up like, is this actually happening?
Yeah, it was completely surreal. It was so weird. It became a global phenomenon, Nirvana, but also Soundgarden and Pearl Jam and all this other stuff, in addition to the Sub Pop brand, and just we successfully marketed Seattle as a scene. That was kind of our shtick. And to go to cities like Tokyo or Barcelona and see Seattle grunge mania happening in cities around the world was really, it was pretty exciting.